Well, you better listen to the CDC's most recent warning, or you could find yourself sticking to potato salad at the next cookout. News 13's Ben Stemrick has more on how you can contract a meat allergy.
Alpha-gal syndrome is a syndrome that actually, it turns out, is probably very common, affecting maybe 500,000 individuals. But unfortunately, it isn't well known.
Alpha-gal syndrome comes from mammals usually with red meat and can be carried by the Lone Star tick.
And then obviously can bite a human and transmit this alpha-gal carbohydrate that causes a allergic or immune reaction.
But it's not a pollen or dust allergy. Alpha-gal syndrome leads to a red meat allergy.
I'd be devastated because I'm a red meat eater. I mean, I rely on a lot of red meat and protein.
Well, I just know my husband is a big beef eater, especially steak.
Symptoms range from mild to life-threatening and can be similar to other allergies, but can also affect your stomach.
It can cause a number of non-specific gastrointestinal symptoms. What are we talking about over here? They range from some indigestion type symptoms to intermittent diarrhea and abdominal pain.
Alpha-gal syndrome could also cause dairy and pork allergies, but won't affect birds, eggs, fish, or vegetables. For some, giving up meat wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Love the Impossible Meat Whoppers.
So you'd already be pretty good.
Yes, yeah, it tastes really good. It tastes just like meat.
And obviously, now that we have plant-based meats and other things, there may be some substitutes that someone can have while they're trying to deal with this. But in the meantime, the best thing is to avoid any kind of red meat or red meat products or anything that contains gelatin, which is a product of red meat.
Now, the Lone Star tick is mainly found down south, but more and more it's being found here in Pennsylvania, and it's slightly different than the deer and dog ticks that we're used to seeing. For example, the Lone Star tick is a little bit bigger, and there are some other differences that you should be able to identify.
Either going to want to look for a white dot, which is very easy to see, or they have white markings elsewhere on their body, but it's very different than the dog tick, which has a white horseshoe or white lightning bolts. So it's best to look up photos online to get those little details, but they are easy to tell apart.
If you do contract alpha-gal syndrome, the allergies do typically fade over time, and not everyone is affected by meat. If you have any questions, you can reach out to your primary care doctor. Ben Stemrick, News 13.